Good evening.
Good evening.
Do you know that your world is uncaused by anything except the choices that you've made as a free consciousness? Do you know that you concocted your own thoughts and then immersed yourself in that which reflects back to you what you have already decided to believe? So what's being reflected back to you right now is what you've already decided to believe. What you are experiencing right now is what you've already decided to believe. So, so the way of transformation is just a way to allow yourself to become empowered in every moment. So how do you become empowered in every moment? The way that you become empowered in every moment is to become fully responsible for clearly deciding what you will see and then not settling for anything less. The way you become empowered is for you to become fully responsible for clearly deciding what it is you want to experience and not settling for anything less than that. To become fully empowered in every moment, recognize that you're fully responsible for deciding what it is that you really want, and you become empowered by not settling for anything less. The better you get at this, the quicker what you want happens. The better you get at what?
Deciding what you want.
Becoming fully responsible for clearly deciding what it is you want and then not settling for anything less. That's when you reach the point that miracles start to happen. So, does that mean that if you want a miracle to happen in your experience, that you have to become more fully responsible?
Yes. If you're not
Do I have to? Yeah.
You mean I have to be fully responsible?
Dang it.
like really fully, not just a little.
Not just a little.
Like sometimes. But
Well, you know, we're already
suits me.
we're already
Wow.
experiencing the result of not being
Yeah.
fully responsible. So we
Yeah.
already know what that produces.
Uh-huh.
It
I
produces sadness.
Uh-huh.
It produces depression.
Mhm.
It produces no joy. It produces dead energy. It produces fear. That comes from not being fully responsible for clearly deciding what you want to receive and not settling for less. So any unhappy person is a person who's not being fully responsible, not deciding what they want to experience, and they are settling for less.
Okay, I've learned enough tonight.
I'm amazed you lasted this long. I was about to give you an award. I was about to acknowledge you deeply. I don't know about you all, but
Wow.
I'm at a place in my experience right now that there is such a deep hunger to connect with real love
Yes.
and real truth and no bullshit
Yes.
that I am studying and meditating and reading and praying like I never have in my life. I am not kidding around with this stuff, but I'm having fun with it. but I am not in a place in my mind. I want to become more fully responsible. I want to be clear about what it is I want, and I'm refusing to settle for less than that. And if that means me taking responsibility for every single thing that's ever happened to me, even if it looked like it was caused by somebody else, then to me that's a lot less to ask me to do than the stuff I see everybody else doing, and they still not happy. I see people working their butt off, going to jobs every day that they hate, going home to people that don't turn them on, looking in the mirror and wanting to look the other way from time to time, blaming others, getting upset, broken into by peers, where it looks like they're happy as long as everybody's doing what they think they want them to do. And that's me. That's the way my ego operates. And so I don't want to be like that anymore. I want to recognize that I'm an unlimited son of God. I want to recognize my spiritual identity. I want to know what's true. Because if this world that I'm looking at and watching and seeing is true, then God is insane. So either I'm insane in a part of my mind or God's crazy. And I'm going to bet that there's a part of me that might not be seeing it right. Because if there's any such thing as a creator, then if I'm in a world where 100 people can appear to die because a crane falls onto a mosque while they're playing, and you don't see the joker behind that, then there's something up. There's something I need to take a look at. So either love is real or fear is real. Either eternal life is real or temporary life is real. Either I'm a victim or I'm a creator. Either I am love or I'm fear. And so I thank you, I bless you. I'm so happy that you're here with me tonight and want to go to another level of consciousness also, and want to get past your fears. And what we're being told right now is that yet they're only miraculous to those who do not understand. See, having a life that really works in a beautiful way, that brings you nothing but joy and peace, that's only miraculous to somebody who doesn't understand. It's only a miracle to those who don't understand that love is the only thing that's real and joy is the only thing that's real. They're the only ones who think it's a miracle if somebody speaks to them 5 times a day. They're the only ones that think there's a miracle if they have more than 3 people who love them, or think it's a miracle. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can get so far away from what love is that you think ordinary, beautiful things that should be just a part of how we experience life because of who we are, we think it's special. That's how far into fear we've gone. We think being sane and kind and caring about each other and letting each other be and giving each other freedom is special. Like that's a big deal. Like that's something that's awesome that we should be patting ourselves on the back about. It's really hilarious. If you think about it, it means we've gone deep into fear. You know, if I think it's a big deal for 3 people to smile at me today, then I'm in a wrong place. I'm in a place that's not receiving love in my mind. And I love the idea that the way of mastery says, I'm not being fully responsible. I'm not being fully responsible. I'm not deciding what I really want to experience, and I'm compromising, and I'm settling for less than what I really, really want. And he says, then it goes on to say, you can achieve, he says, people who think it's miraculous, he says, this is on page 147 in The Way of the Heart. It says, they are only miraculous to those who do not understand how consciousness works. You can achieve that place in which you hold out the palm of the hand and desire the sweetest tasting apple that has ever been created, but it will literally appear in the palm of your hand. You're going to get to the point in your spiritual development that you can hold out the palm of your hand, desire something, and it will literally appear in the palm of your hand.
I like that.
Remind me of something happened to me at a club one night.
Good night.
Awakening, you know.
Amen. And I'm gonna throw it open in a minute. It's just that this is such deep stuff. I want to give us a chance to hear it. And it says, of course, at that point, you will be well beyond any need whatsoever to even hold the thought of requiring physical form. Okay, so So the way a master is saying, by the time you get to the point that you can hold out the palm of your hand and think of something and it materializes in the palm of your hand, you also be beyond the need to even be in a physical form anyway. So by the time you're totally free, you won't even feel attached to anything that you are experiencing here. When you're totally free, you're not attached to anything that you're experiencing here. When you're totally free, you're not attached to anything that you're experiencing here. When you're really, really free, you're not attached to whether or not you have a special relationship. You're not attached to whether or not you have money or lots or little. You're not attached to whether you have sex or not. You're not attached to your weight. You're not attached to where you live. You're not attached to the car you drive. You're not attached to anything when you're truly free. So it's one of the most alarming things about reading this stuff is that in reading it, I see how far I am away from where I think I want to be. I can kind of fool myself to somebody tell me where I'm at. But then the trick is not to beat myself up about it and just pay attention to the instructions that I'm being given to reach to the level of mastery. So let's see what he says. So then he says, you will begin then, by the way, the way of mastery is a very way out premise, which is that it's a channel book and it's Yeshua, or Jesus, communicating to us today. Giving us the real deal about our consciousness and our true nature and who we really are, so that we won't be fooled by this veil, by this illusion, by this camouflage we're looking at around us that makes us forget our true spiritual identity. Because you can't have fun in your human form until you know you're more than it. That's when you can party like the big dog. That's when you can have a lot of fun here, is when you realize you're more than this. So I'm diligently every day trying to recognize that I'm more than my body so that I can enjoy it. Because you can't enjoy it while you think you are it, because you put too much value on what you do with it, and you give yourself judgments like, this isn't really good, this is bad, this is moral, this is immoral, this is, we come up with all these things because we're identifying with our clothes called the body. Your body is just the form that your spirit is wearing right now temporarily while you learn lessons in love and truth and awakening. And love is inclusive, it's not exclusive. I secretly try to love everybody, because when I love everybody openly, it pisses too many people off. So I just secretly love everybody. Because we talk all this loving everybody stuff, but the minute we see somebody seem like they're loving somebody beside us, as part of us trip. Because we're so insecure that we think we need to have somebody's attention exclusively, or else we are somehow not valuable, because we don't know what love is. And I recognize there's a part of me that's like that, and so what I need to do is become fully responsible for it, decide what kind of experience I would like to have, and not settle for anything less than that. And I've decided that I'm not going to settle for anything less than an inclusive love. And then I can expect miracles to happen, like meeting other people who also want unconditional love. And that means they're not going to be hard to get along with. And I want to be around loving people, so I have to become one. And I was blessed with having you in my life to allow me to develop that ability, because that's why you're in my life. That's why we're in each other's life, to give each other practice partners, to see if we can pull off into this stuff that we read in the book. And they're teaching us forgiveness so we won't kill each other. Because we're gonna make errors and we're gonna make mistakes and we're not gonna always do it right. So we're gonna need to know how to deal with that in such a way that we don't limit ourselves and attack and hurt ourselves. But it's time to be edgy, right? Okay. So, and remember, loving everybody doesn't mean having sex with everybody. Because that's why most people are afraid when they hear you say love everybody. That's why they get frightened when they hear you say love everybody, because sex and love are so hopelessly confused in our culture and in our dream, that we don't know that love doesn't require anything of you. That's why it's easy. I repeat that. Love doesn't require anything of you. That's why love is easy. So that's how we know we haven't been loving each other, because we think it's hard. We think it requires effort, processing, practicing, discussing. And it does until you recognize it requires no effort. You know that when you get bored with somebody, it just means that you've used them up, that you think you've gotten as much out of them as you can. It's deep. You know something, we gotta let go of the feeling of any kind of guilt if we wanna pull this off. Because as you recognize the errors of your own perception and recognize where you've been calling for love and where you haven't been loving, if you don't learn to see yourself as innocent, then you're gonna beat the hell out of yourself. As you recognize the errors in your own perception that's been creating the pain you're going through that you think is being caused by everybody else. That's so deep, you know? A lot of times I'll talk to my past self because time is simultaneous. And since time is simultaneous, it's sort of like all the pages in this book are here right now, simultaneously, but you read them one after another to make a fascinating novel. But the beginning and the end is already there. So that means 10-year-old you is existing at the same time as 20-year-old you, that's existing at the same time as 50-year-old you, that's existing at the same time as 70-year-old you, but you might just be on page 55. So you could ask the 80-year-old you to give you a heads up about something before you have that experience, so maybe you can give yourself a different choice. And you could also give some advice to your 30-year-old self. And so sometimes I'll talk to my younger self and I'll tell it when it's, you might want to make a different choice than the one we made then, so that you won't have to go through what I went through. And that my 30-year-old self will say, I just got a message from God. You can call on the wisdom of all your ages right now, because it's all existing right now. It's all existing right now. It's just one time. But we're just watching it page by page by page by page. And you can't do a rewrite. You can't change your screenplay. And I'm changing mine by allowing God to change it. We'll see what happens. I'll let you know.
We'll be watching.
That's right. There's some people that are out on the field, and there's some people that stay in the stands their whole lives. And they just watch life. And they never get in the game because they think they have to do it perfectly all the time, so they can never make a mistake. And because they're afraid to make a mistake, they don't ever do anything. So, you know, be willing to make mistakes so you can have some fun and have some new experiences. But let go of this thing, you got to do it right from the very beginning, or you're not going to do it. So you can have some fun. It's a rigged game. It's rigged. You're going to win. It's rigged. You're going to end up being totally and completely ecstatically happy because that's who you are. Now, obviously I'm saying this to myself. Y'all know that, right?
Yes.
Are we clear about that? Okay. All right. Okay. But you are such blessings beyond your wildest imagination. The blessing you are to me is beyond anything I could ever put into words to express to you. You might be wondering, well, what did I do? That's what I love about you. You don't do nothing. There's not a person in here that's interfered with my life this week. Nothing. None of you. Not one of you. has interfered with my freedom. At all.
Yeah.
Not one of them.
Uh-huh.
I'm grateful to you.
Mhm.
You know, now please have mercy on the people that are special to you.
Mm. Mhm.
Because I get the freedom because I'm not special.
Mhm.
I'm not special enough for you to care what I do when I'm not around you.
Mm.
And I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Now let's treat the people we love that good.
Mm.
Could you imagine what it would be like to have the
Mhm.
special feelings, but have sanity and freedom like you all are doing with me right now, but be that exact same way with the person that your heart just bursts when you see them? That's some good stuff.
Mhm.
That's some good stuff.
Mm.
And I'm going to master that.
Yeah.
I'm going to master being fully loving, fully vulnerable, fully open, and fully free. And I'm going to see what happens.
Mm.
Why not? What do we have to lose? Well, just pain, sorrow, lack, death. Aside that, what else? Then he goes on to say, you will begin to get a sense of your mastery by being able to look at the world you see and then observe clearly what's been changing in it. You will observe how quickly and effortlessly that which the heart truly desires. Now, how can you tell if your heart is truly desiring something? Because it is in alignment with the mind of God. So the way of mastery is saying your heart doesn't truly deserve something until it's in alignment with the mind of love. So I can say I love you and I desire you, but if my mind isn't in alignment with love, then you are not truly my heart's desire. If my thinking isn't in alignment with love, which is the same as saying my thinking is not in alignment with your freedom, my thinking is not in alignment with your innocence, then I don't truly love you. You aren't truly my heart's desire. Because anything that's truly my heart's desire would be something I would be in alignment with love with. And if I'm in alignment with love, I certainly wouldn't try to limit you. I certainly wouldn't try to attack you. I certainly wouldn't try to manipulate or control you. I certainly wouldn't attack you about not acting out my script. So these books helped me out a lot because they made me realize I didn't really love nobody. And it made every unloving thing that I had ever thought I experienced, it made total sense to me why I experienced it at that point. And so I could forgive everybody that it looked like I went through any pain about, because I never was loving them in the first place. I was expecting what I wasn't being or given. So I can forgive everybody in the past now, which is cool. It's just cool. Oh, the other big mistake was I was giving my love and then being concerned about what I got back. That was the other big error I was making. I was always upset because I thought I was giving something and I wasn't getting something equally valuable in return. That was a big error. So now, whatever I'm receiving, I say that's what I'm giving, and that's what I deserve. So whatever you're receiving right now is what you deserve. I'm sorry. Whatever you're receiving right now is what you deserve.
Yay.
If right now your experience is full of a lot of really cool people and a lot of loving people and you're having some joy, that was a cool statement and you were glad to hear it. If you one step away from blowing your brains out, that wasn't really a positive thing for you to hear, that you were receiving what you deserve. You are receiving nothing but unconditional love all the time because that's all you deserve. So you are receiving what you deserve right now, but your thinking is not allowing you to perceive it or feel it. So you are receiving. You only deserve love. That's all you deserve. You don't deserve anything else. You don't deserve anything else but love. That's it. That's it. So when you're truly loving and you're truly feeling true desire that's in alignment with the mind of love, then he says that's when everything becomes manifested effortlessly. So the reason why I'm struggling is because I'm afraid. The reason why I'm struggling is because I'm afraid. The reason why I'm struggling is because I'm afraid. The reason why you're struggling in whatever area you're struggling in is because you're afraid. The reason why you're having any kind of challenges in any area you're having any kind of challenge in, he says, it's because your mind and my mind is not in alignment with love, and so therefore I'm not manifesting effortlessly because I'm not taking full responsibility and deciding what I want and then not settling for anything less. Did you hear me?
Just did it.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Since when the gap between the pure desire and the manifested reflection of it is smaller and smaller and smaller, you will literally sense in the feeling body that mastery is growing. So when there's a little small gap between what you desire and when it manifests, and it becomes a shorter period of time between when you desire something and when you manifest it, you will feel it in your body, and that's how you know your mastery is growing, because there won't be a big block of time between what you desire and how long it takes for you to manifest it. If it seems to take a long time between what you desire and what you manifest, if it seems to take a long time between what you desire and what you manifest, if it seems to take a long time between what you desire and what you manifest, that's just the time that you need to prepare yourself to receive it. And the further you are away from being able to receive something, the longer it takes to have it, because you need an intermittent period of learning how to receive it. If I'm not ready to receive what I'm asking for, it's a long way away from my desire to the manifestation of it. That period in between is when you're supposed to be doing what we're doing tonight. Because it hasn't shown up. Because you haven't opened yourself up enough to be able to receive it with love. So if you've been wanting to love for years, you've been wanting an incredible relationship for years, and it looks like it hasn't shown up, it's because you've been given this wonderful time to prepare yourself to receive it, so that when it shows up and it manifests, you'll know how to treat the person, and you'll know how to be truly loving. How can I tell I'm not there yet? By how upset I get when they don't do what I want them to do. That's how you know.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. It's just that simple. If you always getting upset because somebody's not doing what you want them to do, then you're still in the preparation stage of being able to receive love. So it would look like love would take a while to get to you. You struggle a little bit. So I'm working diligently on letting go of my scripts for how people should be, so that I can stop getting upset with them if they don't do exactly like I want them to do. And what better person to help you with that than somebody that doesn't do what you want them to do? That's why you ordered them up, to get you out of that bad habit of thinking that your happiness depends on their behavior. The more you think your happiness depends on somebody else's behavior, the more you'll attract practice partners. Those people who say they don't ever do whatever you want them to do. They're there to get you past that erroneous idea that your happiness depends on somebody else doing something. to make you happy. So all the people you get upset with, you should be like taking them out to dinner. You should be like buying them Christmas presents because they're getting you, they're actually getting you out of hell because they're getting you out of the erroneous perception that your happiness depends on how they behave. And I just have some superstars in my life that have played that role.
Me too.
Thank you, my former wife. That's right. I married my high school sweetheart. Got married when I was 19. We started dating when I was 14. She was the preacher's daughter. And you tell her was the perfect person for me. I think about how I must have given her father nightmares.
Oh God.
Because I was like in a rock and roll band and I had an afro about that big. I couldn't even hold my head up when I was walking down the street. had a brace. I had rainbow colored pants. Come to the door with nothing but a friend's vest on. Did you know that?
Oh God.
I could imagine how he was thrilled to see me. And so I see now, like, the nerve it took and the love she must have had for me to take that chance with a very conservative father. You know what I'm saying? And back in the day, there was a custom of, in the black community, of when you would go and visit a young lady, that they would close the door and leave you totally alone the whole evening, right in the house, even though the whole family was there. So you were always given privacy when you came over for a date. It was so nice. So as you wake up, I could see where I was receiving unconditional love in so many ways that I didn't recognize at the time from her. So this material and material like this allows me to see the love that they were giving me as opposed to my ego, which was not loving me enough to recognize the love that I was receiving. Because as I look back, I can think of situation after situation after situation after situation that I experienced unconditional love with her, but because I was so deep in my own guilt and my own illusion and my own scripts and my own fears and my own lack of self-love, my own complaining and my own blaming and my own unconsciousness, that I didn't recognize what was right in front of my face and already there. And that's what I've learned from studying this stuff, is that every time I think something is missing, that's my way of knowing it's right in front of me. Now it's become the way that I know, because I don't want to look back 10 years from now and say, God, I wish I had expressed more love to you. I wish I had recognized you more. I wish I had taken more advantage of the time we have together, just like I could do in that situation. But everything that happened was for my own best interest. And I'm citing this personal example because I know you're no different from me. You just got your own story with the same content. You're doing the exact same thing that I did. And you know you're doing it right now if you're miserable all the time or unhappy. You know you're doing it. You're blaming. You're blaming. You're blaming. But you're so innocent. But you're so innocent. You're so innocent. I'm innocent too. I'm innocent too. I'm innocent too. So I fully intend to leave here and go to Europe and die. So I just wanted to say goodbye. I'm fully intend to be reborn. So say goodbye to this one. Wish him well. This is my going away party.
Yay.
You know, I'm leaving tomorrow. On the jet plane.
Don't know when I'll be back again.
I'll be back as much as those change fees cost. I'll be back. I love you so much that
You'll find out after.
my goal is to love you more when I come back than when I left.
All right.
Now, what happens when I leave for an extended period of time in the 35 years I've been teaching is that usually most of the people that I was teaching before I left don't come back. It has nothing to do with nothing negative. It's just what happens. Because I don't come back on the same vibration and same level of consciousness that I was on when I left. And so every time you change vibration, every time you change consciousness, some people are going to leave your experience. Some people are going to be going through a similar change, so they'll still be there. And then some people, you're just going to find yourself having to choose to be out of relationship with. And all of it's innocent. So I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just, I've been doing this 35 years. I know what happens. So you get to you know your patterns. Every one of us know our patterns. So now it becomes a matter of, are you going to tune into spirit enough to use your patterns to your advantage, to give you a new beginning? You know your pattern. You know your relationship pattern by now. You know your money pattern by now. You know your job pattern. You know your pattern. You know that it just changes people, but the same movie gets played. Right? 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 Yeah. So it's about time you start using that knowledge to your advantage by loving it. So, I look forward to death, and I look forward to the rebirth. I look forward to seeing some of you again, and I look forward to blessing some of you in whatever comes next for you. I welcome those who are coming. Can you imagine how many people I've seen in 35 years? I mean, can y'all imagine that? You know, great, beautiful people, awesome people, just like you. Just like you. But I had to learn how to love them and let them go. Love them, let them go. Love you, let you 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 go. I used to get attached, and that caused me pain. Then that's when I wanted to imprison you. I wanted to make sure you were around all the time. See, that's what I have to watch. You know, because you start loving somebody, and before you know it, you'll think they're the ones that's causing the way you feel. So then you think you got to hold on to them so you can have that feeling. And then you start to imprison them out of your fear of losing them. And then that kills the relationship, and it becomes a tomb instead of something alive and vibrant. It's just a form where two people are together, but there's no longer in this inspiration, in the excitement. But I want my life to be exciting. I've always loved the character Peter Pan because he never grew up, so he had a good time. And Tinkerbell, she was hot. She was a little small for me.
Yeah. Little tiny.
Just real small, but you know. Okay, and before I go any further, any thoughts, anything you want to share? Any questions, or just comments? So this is your time. This is your time to share.
Thank you for all you've shared in this life with us before you go.
Thank you.
It's so
Thank you.
amazing. It's just hitting me really deep. So I think that's, and probably everybody else, which is why we're all very quiet tonight. It's a weird energy in here tonight.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's
It's been weird the
really
last 2
quiet.
weeks.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Because
it has.
because I've been weird the last 2 weeks. And you all perfectly reflect me. If I'm low key, you're low key. If I'm up, you're up. It's my experience is a total mirror. I can't come in down and people gonna shoot energy that's up. Because it's a reflection of my energy. I'm at the point in my reality that everything reflects me so clearly that if I want up energy, I have to be up, which is deep. Okay? It's not like I'm gonna come in here down and you're gonna come in here up. If you come in here up and I sit down quiet, you quiet down. You can be like talking and everything, but if I sit down quietly, everybody gets quiet. If I come in, jump up and down in the chair and doing everything but set myself on fire, then everybody's joyful and laughing and playing. My reality is like that all the way around. It's always a complete reflection of the energy that I'm giving out. And you know what's cool about that? That means that it doesn't take any time between me being a certain way and me getting it reflected back to me. That's the beauty of it. It's kind of frightening too, because sometimes you like to feel like you could be down and somebody else is gonna be up. You know what I mean? But mine isn't like that. You know, because it's gotten to the point that there is no gap between what I desire and the time that it takes to manifest, except in the areas of my life that I'm afraid. So the thing that's taking the longest for you to manifest is the thing you're most afraid of having. The thing that's taking you the longest to manifest is the thing that you are most afraid of having. The thing that's the hardest for you to achieve is the thing you're most afraid of having. The thing that you're most afraid of having is the thing that's the hardest for you to achieve. So now you know what you're most afraid of, and so do I. Because all of you know what you think you're struggling about. That's where your fear is located. But what's so cool about that is that's also where your greatest gift is located. So Amelia, God is the love in which I ask you to forgive me. I didn't see you. Now I do. So, I just want you to know, I'm sorry. And I apologize for anything I might have done that may have been used for you to cause yourself any pain through, and vice versa. Daddy, I see your alcoholism now as what it was. It was a deep, deep, deep call for love, and I can imagine what you must have been going through. And I was so unconscious, all I thought about was myself. So I ask your forgiveness, your correct perception too. And anybody else out there, anybody else, I want to be free. I want love. Anybody care to play taps? Thank you, Doug. I knew you would. Listen to my ego. Stand for our fear. I love you. I love all of you. We are one. It's just one of us in this room. But certain people are going to be held out to you for relationships that are primary relationships, because you can't meet everybody in the body in time. So you will have relationships that are going to be held out to you, and to someone looking at it from the outer, they'll think you're in a relationship that's more important than your other relationships, but it's not more important than your other relationships. It's just that that's the person who is most important to the level of awakening that you're going through right now. And everybody say, well, you're just in love with them, or you're more in love with them than you are with anybody else. That just means I'm learning more with them right now than I am with anybody else. That's all it means. That's all it means. It doesn't mean that anybody else is any less important to your healing and to your awakening. We're all equally important to each other's awakening. But I might not be your main teacher right now. That's all. And I only want to be a teacher to people who I'm irresistible to. and who they're irresistible to me.
Mhm.
I don't want to be around people who I'm not irresistible to and they're not irresistible to me as a goal.
Nice.
It's a goal.
Mhm.
If I'm not irresistible to you, you don't see me.
Mhm.
And if you're not irresistible to me, I don't see you. So I don't want to be around people who don't see me anymore. Trying making sure I see everybody around me. I couldn't imagine myself trying to seduce somebody now. The only way I try to seduce somebody is if I knew I was going to succeed.
Mhm.
So first we had to already decide I'm going to be successful. And now we'll play with the seduction. But I'd never do it with somebody that was in question.
Mhm.
Why?
Mhm.
Why?
Mhm.
Don't you know how beautiful you are? Why should you have to convince somebody to appreciate you?
Mhm.
I love all of you more, but you call me inappropriate. I'm in a crazy world. You love everybody, that's when you get most condemned. When you in hell. By the way, you're already there. You just don't know it. I think it's hilarious. I'm afraid to go to hell. Of course says, don't know how to break it to you, but you're already in here. And you're trying to get out. Just take a look around.
Yeah.
And you'll know you're already in hell. You're in a place where anything can happen at any time to anybody, and you can appear to lose what you love any second in any kind of way. That's hell. And what we are supposed to be doing is transforming it to heaven. Transforming it to love. And it's not going to happen if I don't play my part.
Mhm.
It's so funny. And all I have to do to play my part is leave you alone. In other words, you're better off without any of my interference. You're actually better off. All your friends benefit from you leaving them alone. I'm telling you. If you don't love them, then you just give them to God. And then you ask for what to do. You ask. And so tonight I was determined that I wasn't going to be in charge of what I said and how I am. I vowed to myself I wasn't going to try to keep anybody awake. I wasn't going to try to keep anybody's attention. I wasn't going to try to be entertaining. I wasn't going to try to have any expectations about how anybody should be. I was going to let go whether or not anybody ever came back again because I focused in on the class or whatever. It's like I have got to be more authentic at all times.
Thank you.
Yay!
So that whatever you see coming out of me, you can be absolutely sure that's the way I feel, and not because I'm trying to influence you in any way.
Thank you.
Because I'll never meet the people who love me the way I am if I ever act anything other than how I feel in the moment because I'm trying to impress or get. Which is really, kind of takes some nerve when when you're doing this stuff full time like I'm doing it, which makes it seem like whether or not you're going to be provided for depends on how many people seem like they want you for their teacher or see you valuable. And that means I'm dependent on influence and being liked more than I am on being sustained by the love of God. So that's a mistake. So it's kind of scary, this territory I'm going into right now. Authenticity is always scary. To see who hangs and to know who doesn't, that doesn't mean they're not cool. Because then you're imprisoning them.
Right.
But I want to be irresistible. And I want to be around irresistible people. You are irresistible. That's why I'm here every week. It's because you're irresistible.
That's why we're here. Because you're irresistible.
Say that again.
Isn't there a song we can sing?
Irresistible.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. You didn't have to know the words. You need to show the text. Shoulder thing, make up for the rest of it. I always love to have discussions periods where I talk. It's time to discuss. Well, great. I'm going to discuss what I just heard. I love Madonna. I've always admired Madonna because Madonna was my teacher. She was one of my best teachers, especially back in the early 90s when she had erotica out. And she was doing all these nude photos, and she was, doing videos with burning crosses, and because she taught me that if you stay true to yourself, some people are not going to like you at all. You're going to create the haters, the ones who are jealous. But what happened was the people who really appreciated her, and the ones who didn't, really didn't. So what happened was the people who would never go to a Madonna concert or never do anything like that, they stayed away from her. And the people who totally appreciated her creativity and her individuality, they supported her. And I learned, and that's the way I am. I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm not trying to be. And I'm going to try to be less everybody's cup of tea. Because the more you're true to yourself, the less you're going to be everybody's cup of tea. But the people who you are their cup of tea, they're going to love you, and you're going to love them, and you all are going to support each other, and it's going to be an incredible experience to have with each other. I remember I went to see Madonna's concert at the Pepsi Center, and I wanted to go, and I was determined to go, so I bought the little cheap ticket. It was like $40 right there. I was hanging from a rope behind the stage. I came in, I said, I want to see her. I want to get a chance to be in the presence of that creative energy, that energy of perfection. So I get ready to give them the ticket, and they say, step out of line, please. You gotta go back to the box office, and it's something they gotta tell you. You gotta get straightened out. I was like, what the heck? The show was getting ready to get started. They yanked me out of line, and every time I would go to try to find out what was going on, they would send me to another line. And I didn't know what was going on. And so the show was getting ready to get started. I was at the back of this line, and people were trying to get the thing straightened out. And I went, whoa, wait a minute. I forgot. I didn't ask the Holy Spirit to be in charge. So I stopped right at that moment, and I asked higher power to be in charge of that moment. And then it's almost as soon as I did that, something happened at the front of the line, and all the people in front of me were taken care of. And so I was standing up there, and was nobody in front of me anymore. So I went up to the box office, and they said, oh yeah, look, man, he said, well, go over that table right there. I said, okay. So I go to the table, and they said, yes, you have an obstructed view. Where would you like to sit? And then they said, right there, down front. It said, okay, you can sit right in the 10th floor, in the 10th row center, in the $300 tickets. So I went and I sat in the 10th row with Madonna as far away from me as probably the sidewalk of that window right there, the $300 seats. Because I stopped and asked, and I was totally desiring it, truly. And I didn't come there as a hater. I came there as a lover. I came there as someone who was admiring and not envious and not jealous. And so my truth, like he says, I became fully responsible. I asked for what I wanted, and there was a part of me that wasn't willing to settle for anything less. And I could give you 100 stories like that since I've been teaching and studying the Course in Miracles. Stuff that didn't even make any sense. I had forgotten my boarding pass. And when I was getting ready to fly to London one time, and I went up to the TSA person and I said, but I always look at that before you let you go through. I said, I forgot it, I don't have it. And he looked at me and said, okay, go through. Then I went to another one, had to go through two because it was another country. I said, I don't have what I need to have, but I really do need to get through. He said, okay. And he let me through. See, people don't even believe stuff like that happens. When you start really getting into this stuff and you're really sincere about it, you're gonna start seeing miracles happen in your life, things that defy reason, things that defy your imagination. I'm telling you, this stuff is true. Life isn't supposed to be the struggle we make out of it, out of our fear. Things can be taken care of if we're willing to do what? Take responsibility, get some clarity about what we want, and stop settling for less than what we really want. But don't be amazed that when you start to love yourself, that people will start to think you're arrogant or you're vain. Don't fall for that crap. It's nothing vain about honoring yourself. It's nothing vain about seeing your value and acknowledging your value and drawing a line in the sand and saying you're not going to cross over. There's just certain things you are not going to accept anymore for you. But you got to draw a line in the sand. Wow. Well, that was a wonderful discussion. No, anybody, that's cool. Like I said, tonight I'm not on any kind of agenda. What, is anybody got anything you want to say?
Well, I had a weird thing happen last week. I was buying groceries and I was ringing up my groceries and the guy turns off the machine and so then it comes back on and says, okay, well, thank you for shopping for King Soopers, and I get a receipt. So I got like $100 worth of groceries for free.
Okay.
Thank you.
But that was weird.
Anybody else have any weird experiences?
I love the way this piece where it speaks of you get to the point that you can put out your palm of your hand and basically say, whatever I want an apple, I want a diamond ring, I want an amethyst like Linda. And it's there, but at the point that you're there that you can do that, you don't really care what's in that hand.
Exactly. That's why he
It's
said
part of
that
the fun
about.
is I have whatever, I don't need the skill.
That's why he's saying you'll be well beyond any need whatsoever to even hold the thought of requiring, because what's holding us back is the attachment.
Mm-hmm.
If we can let go of the attachment, then we can have anything we want instantly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the attachment that keeps us from having it instantly, because then we have the fear of losing it.
Mm-hmm. So we have the ability, we say today we want, but when we get the ability, we won't even need it.
Right. So we just use it for the fun of it. We'll just be doing stuff for the fun of it. I don't mind coming back to earth if I'm conscious.
Polka dotted uniform.
Yeah. If I know that I create my reality and that I'm totally eternal and infinite, then I can hang out in the earth and just be totally keep chilled out, because I know I couldn't be harmed, and I knew I was loved, and I knew everything was gonna be all right, and I knew I had protection. Then the earth would be like this really cool, fantastic place. So it's not like we're gonna sacrifice anything. The only thing we're gonna be letting go of is our fear. That's the only thing we're gonna lose is our fear.
I'd like to, because the thing I'm trying to reconcile is that I can do all this work for myself, and the painful part right now is seeing other people who I love not applying, or so then that triggers me. And how much of it is, because I know I'm deciding to feel how I feel about it, but it's like, it's my ego playing a trick, like it's out of my control because it's happening to them. So I'm a little confused right now about that.
Well, it reminds me of what he said about when you accept it for yourself, that you accepting it for them too. Which means that they're just as much a choice and just as powerful as you in creating their reality just like you. And when they're ready, just like there was something happened in you that made you want to become more conscious in your seeking, then they're gonna have the same thing happen to them at the proper time for it to happen to them. And that's what I always remember, that they're not victims, that they are literally creating their reality just like I am. And for whatever reason, they're deciding to create it in a way that's painful for them. And out of my honoring their power, then I let them create it however they need to create it, while trying to present an alternative so that they can see there's another way to be by what I'm demonstrating but not necessarily by what I'm seeing.
Mhm.
And also the Course in Miracles brings up that exact thing that you're saying. And it says that whenever you get upset with somebody because it looks like they're still trying to solve their experience and deal with it through the fantasies of the world, it said that's just you refusing to forgive yourself for the same thing. That you can't get triggered by something that you transcended.
Right.
So if you're getting triggered, it means that you're doing the exact same thing that they're doing, but you just don't recognize where you're doing it. But because that's why it's bothering me. You know what I'm saying? So that, again, that's why I should be thankful to them, because all of my relationships keep me from getting into denial and self-deception, and all pain comes from deceiving yourself. That's why after I've had a long period of being by myself, then I like to get into a relationship to see how much any of the things that I think I've learned has actually happened. Because as long as you live by yourself and you are separate and you're solitary and you're not in relationship, you can convince yourself that you're a lot more enlightened and a lot more talkative than you actually are.
Absolutely.
Because there's nobody else that you're dealing with. I love living by myself. It's just ridiculously nice. And I've been fortunate. I mean, you know, I lived with somebody for 20 years, and then before that I was married 12 years. Most of my life I've always been with someone. I never lived alone until I was 50 when I moved here. It was the first time in my life I had ever had my own apartment by myself, dealing with me. And I lived with some really cool people to live with. I wasn't like one of these people that lived with some people that was from hell. I mean, they really was cool. But it still was nothing like the pleasure and enjoyment that I got out of living by myself. Because I could do anything I wanted to do whenever I got ready to do it without having to deal with anybody's reaction to what I was doing. And then I could go be with people when I wanted to be with them. So whenever they saw me, it was always pleasant for them because I was seeing them when I wanted to. So they would always see a nice, loving, like you. You see a nice, loving Earl because I see you when I want to. You don't see the other one. I love you too much to. I love you too much to bring them out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. So when I got some issues going on, I'll deal with it between me and the Holy Spirit, or friends that I can communicate to who won't make it real. Because I don't like to communicate anything from my ego with people who make it real. And so most of the time, that whatever is bothering me, solitude and going within usually solves it anyway. So now I'm finding myself drawing more relationships to me, so that I can see if I'm willing to live my truth no matter what. And can I be loving even if someone doesn't go along with it? So consequently, there are a lot of relationship opportunities in my life right now, because I'm ready to see where I'm at. But fortunately, the work that I've been doing on myself has attracted people to me who also want to do the same thing. So that makes it a hell of a lot easier. There's nothing worse than trying to grow with somebody that don't want to. And you having to drag them along every second. You know, that's a pain in the butt. You know. Sane people have bodies too. Sane people can kiss. Sane people can go to movies, and sane people can go hiking, and sane people can travel around the world, and sane people can be great lovers, and sane people can also do anything that you think you're going to do with insane people that they never really do with you anyway, and that's why you're mad at them. So, don't let your ego tell you you have to settle for less than a loving relationship. Because I don't know about you, but it used to be the person that I had the most passion toward was also the person I got angry with the most. Exact same person. The same that I was having the hardest time was the one I was actually having the hardest time with. Now, if I'm with somebody, around somebody with constant conflict and fear, it's a turn off. It's not a turn on. It makes me want to move away instead of makes me want to hold on to them and cling. That's how I know I'm beginning to love myself more. And that's how you know you begin to love yourself more, because you will become more intolerant of mannered intrusions of discomfort. You won't be able to take the stuff you used to take, and you won't be able to put up with the stuff you used to put up with. It's not peaceful and loving. That's a sign of spiritual strength. That's not a sign that you're not getting it because you're not patient with suffering. Because you no longer patiently suffer. That's what most people think being spiritual means. It's a horrible situation, but I can just hang in there and suffer. And because I'm spiritual. So I'm going to stay in it. No matter how miserable it makes me, I'm going to stay in it because that's what spiritual people do. No, that's what martyrs do. You're a martyr. You're there on the cross. Look at me. Look how I'm suffering, but I'm staying in here. I'm staying in it all. Have you ever done it?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, you through with it now, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Are you?
Born again.
So I invite you to shake things up right now. Disrupt your routines. Become inaccessible. Erase your personal history. Disrupt your routines. Erase your personal history. Be more inaccessible. Use your death as an advisor. Don't let the idea of eternal life keep you from living. Because your physical body won't last forever, even though you will. So you best really enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with having sensual, sensory, physical experiences. That's why we're here. If we didn't want to experience physical experience, we wouldn't have created this. But we came up with the stupid idea of sin and guilt, which keeps people from enjoying who they are. You're such a blessing. You're such a blessing. You're such a blessing. So we'll do one more paragraph, and then we're gonna be out of here in 2 seconds.
We've had enough.
Oh,
We've had enough.
Oh, you can tell me, it's like when it really gets intense, this room will be clear in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It's amazing to watch. It's like the Flash. You know, you're moving so fast, like you're moving slow. I be coughing from the dust sometimes after classes.
We're ready for one more.
Thank you, Doug. It's 3 sentences. Can you do it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Can we do 3 sentences, gang?
Do it.
All right.
We can do it.
Can you do it?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. I'm proud of us. You will know that you are merely a child of God playing. You are playing. You are playing. We are playing. We are children of God, infinitely powerful beings who have the ability to manifest anything, and now we are playing like we are this. And you are playing without ceasing. And guess where you are playing? You are playing in the sandbox of all possibilities. Now, check this out. It's called the mind. So the definition of the mind is, it is your sandbox of all possibilities. Your mind is your sandbox of all possibilities. That's what we're doing. And so there is literally nothing out there, that's unrelated to you. So instead of saying others, start saying relationship. You are not the other. You are a relationship. 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 You are not other. You are a relationship. And so you are playing without ceasing in the sandbox of all possibilities that's called your mind. And there's nothing at all that's unrelated to you. So could we give it up to ourselves for giving this much Holy Spirit? So we're going to do the financial expression of appreciation. Thank you, mighty companions, for your generosity and seeing value in what the Holy Spirit does through me. Those of you online, you can go to my website, earlpurdy.com, and you can make a financial expression of appreciation there. Also go to my website to sign up for the contact list so that I can send you links to the videos so you can watch them again. And also I'm available for one-on-one sessions called Clarity Sessions, and it explains it online. Those of you that I can be helpful to, I really want to be helpful to. Those of you who find me irresistible, get in touch with me, please.
I'm calling you right now.
Those who, you can get your cell phone out. And those who find me irresistible, please keep on resisting me. So those who are irresistible, come this way. Those who resist, go your way. And then everybody's happy. It's really that simple. That's too peaceful, isn't it? Yeah. So just remember, whenever you feel any kind of fear come up, any kind of resistance, like you were saying, any kind of irritation, that just remind yourself that the Course would say, that's bringing up a call for love in me. That's bringing up a call for God in me. That's bringing up a call for love. Then say, if you can think of it, say, I'm entitled to miracles. I will not trade miracles for grievances. I will not trade miracles for this feeling. I want only what belongs to me. Now you want to feel strange. I said this Sunday, and I got a lot of feedback from it. I'm gonna say it to you. First of all, we're gonna continue. We're gonna have still have the Way of Mastery class. CJ is still gonna facilitate it, so that because you don't need me. If you're really sincere about this, you don't need me. And so this will give you an opportunity, if you like to get another take on it, another angle of it that might be helpful, and she's excellent.
And she's irresistible.
Yes, irresistible.
That's right, I got a small invisible chain tied to my ankle right now.
Oh, is that where it was?
And those of you who haven't had a chance to hear Anna, she's going to be covering the next 2 Sundays. I'm back on the 1st of October. So Anna is incredible. Anna Kuchau is an incredible, fantastic Course in Miracles teacher also. And so give yourself that treat. Give yourself another flavor of it.
Where are you headed this time?
I'm headed to the UK.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go over there and me and the Queen go twerk.
All right. I expect a Facebook picture.
Yes, we are. We're going to get the video. Me and the Queen. Did you see the Queen going?
Yeah. With the hat on.
With that crown on, you know what I'm saying?
She might let you wear the crown.
That's
Yeah.
right. All right. That's right. Get me
We're
down.
fascinated.
That's right. Get me down in the dungeon.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
chains.
That's right. I must be fully responsible for what I've decided I want, and I refuse to accept anything less. That's right.
The crown in the den.
Absolutely. So, anybody have one thing that they'd like to say, that they'd like to remember and take with them from what they heard tonight? Just one idea that they think kind of stood out for them.
Sandbox of possibilities.
Yeah,
Uh-huh,
I
I
love
like
that. The
that.
mind is it's the sandbox of unlimited possibilities, and each one of us has a sandbox of unlimited possibilities. And I would invite you to play in my sandbox.
I'd love to.
Yes, yes. So together we have even more unlimited possibilities. Anybody else?
Take full responsibility, number one.
Take full responsibility is the way that you have miracles, because in taking full responsibility for what?
Choice of what you're deciding.
What you're deciding, what you're desiring to experience. Take full responsibility, and don't what? Settle for anything less. And one day you get to the point that when you hear that, you'll go, I'm not willing to settle for anything less than complete peace. You're gonna find yourself taking it away from things altogether, and it'll be, I'm not settling for anything less than peace. And my ego has been like berserk the last couple of weeks, and these last few days, it's just been, I mean, it's been so threatened by whatever it is that I'm getting ready to experience, that it has tried to, that part of my mind has tried to create conflict, fear, anger, irritation, you name it. I've run the gamut of emotions the last 2 or 3 days. I mean, just call for God on top of 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 call for God.
It's all gonna be okay.
Yes, you are. That's right. You are. And if you forget, I'll remind you, you're already okay. You're more than okay.
And I'm saying it to you too.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because behind my fear is love. On the other side of the conflict is everything I could ever want. So please, I would invite you around me. You can do it around anybody else, but don't ever feel like you have to put on a facade of feeling good when you don't, or feeling happy when you don't. I'm not expecting you to be positive. I would love you to be authentic. So I won't forget who you are, that you're the child of God playing in the sandbox. And right now you're playing like whatever the thing is that you think you're upset about. You know, because as a kid, I used to play like I was the villain and the good guy. You know, and so that's what you're doing right now. You might be playing pitiful. What would it be like to play like I'm pitiful? And you might do it so good that you think you're pitiful.
Yeah.
Academy
You know what I'm saying?
Award of fitting.
Yeah, you get Academy Award. I mean, all of us deserve Academy Awards. We're such good actors.
Yes.
It's ridiculous how good actors we are. But we just went insane. Now we think we are the roles we're playing. Now
Yeah.
you really think you are a mother, and you think you are a father, and you think you are a sister or brother or an aunt or an uncle or a cousin or a black man or a white man or a white woman or a young woman. It's like, absolutely, it's a role we're playing in our sandbox. And I want to play with some people who want to come up with some more interesting games.
And colored sand.
Yeah.
Yeah, some colored sand. I'm just asking. Look,
Yeah.
everybody in my experience that want to be part of the creation
Yeah.
of the new and don't want to keep doing the same old thing the way it's been done, I invite you into my experience, because I also want to be part of the creation of whatever the evolutionary level or the next level or whatever God wants to do here and what love wants to do here. I want it. I want to be a part of it, and I want to be with the people who want to be a part of it. You have to ask for what you want.
Thank you.
You have to ask. That's all. Just ask. There's more people that want to love you than you could ever get around to.
That's the truth.
That will become your problem one day, is you just don't have enough time for all the loving people in your life on a physical level. And you almost laugh at the you that used to feel like it was alone and didn't have nothing to do, and there was nobody to go out with or spend time with. It would seem like a dream to you. It'd be so crazy because your experience is so full. That's where you're headed. So, take a breath, please. You all are awesome. You are that one that's choosing to enter the way of transformation. You are entering the way of transformation whereby your human consciousness, your human lived experience becomes the living expression, the fruit which has sprung forth from the soil in which the roots of grace, love, and healing have been well planted. This holy instant would I give to you, be you in charge, for we would follow you, certain that your direction gives us peace. And mighty companions, may you party like a big dog. Appreciate y'all. Also, who let the dog out? Who? There it is. There it is.